So, Poland is making firearm training mandatory for kids in school. Something weird is going on, if you ask me, because first it was Argentina who says, hey, let's lower the age for firearms, and then now this.
First maths, then history, and finally, shooting. Weaponry class is now mandatory in Polish schools, and could soon become a favourite.
It feels good to hit the target. I think it's a good idea. Life is scary these days, so you have to be prepared for anything.
Could you freaking imagine the absolute horror that would come from the anti-gun lobby? Honestly, not even just the anti-gun lobby, but from half of America who would see this and lose their absolute fucking mind over the fact that we are teaching children how to use firearms. The funny thing is, there was a time in America where we used to do this. Shooting clubs, competitions, hell, kids used to have shotguns in their trucks after school for hunting afterwards. But now we have this generation of helicopter moms and overbearing parents who refuse to teach kids anything meaningful other than everybody gets a participation trophy. And meanwhile, Poland, a country without a Second Amendment essentially, is doing what we should be doing. It's kind of crazy when you think about it.
Is a normal primary school with students from the 1st to the 8th grade. Differences of opinion are also handled in the normal way. What is less normal about this school is in the gym, where 13 and 14-year-olds arm themselves with the assault rifles and pistols laid out on the table, under the principal's supervision.
Keep in mind, in America, if you want your kid to believe they're a cat and then take drugs to transition into a cat, people will applaud you and call you progressive. But teach a kid gun safety? Oh no, we can't have that. The hypocrisy is wild. We live in a country with over 400 million guns, and somehow teaching kids to be responsible with them is controversial over here. Please make that make sense to me.
It is a compulsory subject in Polish schools, and the lesson content consists only of assembling and operating weapons. With the state of the world today, I think this type of training is very valuable.
She is referring to Russia's invasion of Ukraine, right next door. Poland feels threatened and wants its young people to be able to handle weapons as early as possible.
Now this actually makes sense. Poland doesn't have the luxury of sitting on an isolated landmass like we do. They've got Russia breathing down their necks. They're not playing games. They understand that reality doesn't care about your feelings. Meanwhile, here in America, we're spoiled. We think we're untouchable because our neighbors aren't a threat to us. But Poland, they get it. You train your people, start them young, because when the threat comes, you don't get to ask for do-overs.
There are 18,000 schools in Poland. All of them will get this equipment as part of their safety training.
Shooting lessons were voluntary until 3 months ago. Parents seem not to have complained about them. On the contrary.
We are very proud that our children want to be on the right side of history, to defend our country, and to be patriotic.
Look at that. Parents actually proud of their kids learning how to defend their country. Meanwhile, here, we've got people fighting over pronouns in safe spaces, while completely ignoring the fact that we're setting our kids up to be helpless. Teaching kids proper firearm safety should be a no-brainer, especially in a country with so many guns. It's embarrassing how far we have come from the Second Amendment to where we are now in terms of understanding its importance.
What's happening is really sad, but that's Poland.
There's already so much violence, and now they've introduced this. You're afraid to go outside.
They aren't mature enough yet. Teaching these skills could backfire on us all.
Here's the thing. The kids who are taught gun safety aren't the ones causing the violence. Just like martial arts teaches discipline in kids, firearm training teaches respect. It's not the kids who trained in martial arts who are running around being bullies. It's the kids who were not trained in martial arts who are running around being bullies. The same way the kids who are taught firearm safety aren't running around shooting schools up. It's the kids who weren't taught firearm safety who are running around shooting schools up, because firearm safety teaches these kids respect. And when you respect the tool, you respect life. Therefore, you're not willing to dismiss of it so quickly and so fruitlessly. And remember, we didn't have mass shootings like we do now back then when kids were learning how to shoot properly. So let that sink in.
Mission accomplished. The mandatory shooting lessons are unique in Europe. The aim is to prepare primary school children to defend Poland in the future. Even if they are just children now, who just want to play, just for the fun of it.
Poland is showing us what a responsible gun culture looks like for all intents and purposes. They've got less restrictive gun laws than places like the UK. And guess what? Lower gun crime. Why? Because it's not about the guns, it's about the culture. Responsible training and respect for firearms create a safer, freer society. Maybe it's time we stop pretending we're above all of this and actually learn something from Poland. Just saying. One thing's for certain and two things are for sure. Politicians and tech giants don't want gun content to be recommended to you. And we're all fighting this culture war together. Now you can help do your part by liking, commenting, subscribing to the channel, but most importantly, sharing this video with at least one person. Together we can stop the suppression of our 2A rights. And don't forget to click the link in the description section of this video for the products that I mentioned in this video.